I'm like, what's the dream of? What's the hope in? What's the doubt for? Live to no end. This is living. The life I've been given is a gift. If I'm living, I'ma live it to death. So what's the dream of? What's the hope in? What's the doubt for? And live to no end. This is living. The life I've been given is a gift. If I'm living, I'ma live it to death. Yeah.
Welcome to the live team up agency call of Family First Life Living Hope and Family First Life Diligence. I'm excited to have my co-host here on the call, Miss Katelynn Blackburn. Katelynn, she's humble, so she probably won't edify herself. So I'm just going to edify her, just so you guys know who you're going to be hearing from. But she was the Rookie of the Year. I consider her to be the number one overall female in the entire company. Not only, is she top producer, produced over $1 million in premium on her own pen in the last 2 years, but she's also building a huge agency that helps between 300 to 400 families a month. So I'm excited to be able to share with you guys tonight. Both of us, two-time Hall of Fame producers, we want to just share with you guys really what it takes to make it in this business, what it takes to be a Hall of Fame producer, what it takes to take care of your family, the sacrifices, the consistency, what leads we run. Maybe we'll come up with a couple word tracks. Katelynn and I didn't really, go over what questions we're going to ask each other tonight, but, I'm excited really to, get into it. But Katelynn, real quick, if you would be, able to just share, quickly your background, because you come from humble background, you have a daughter, no sales experience, and you came in here and just absolutely crushed it. But it was a mindset. The skill set can be learned, but the mindset, that takes time to develop. So let's just talk a little bit about that, your experience here, and, a little bit about that mindset that you had to develop in the beginning just to be able to find success.
Yeah, thank you, Jamie, so much for having us on today. It means a lot to us. I'll just tell you guys a little bit about myself. If you don't know me, my name's Katelynn. I've been here about 16 months now. No sales experience whatsoever, but I did have a drive to learn and a drive to make something work for myself, no matter how hard it was going to, whatever obstacles were going to come, I was going to figure it out and I was going to get past that adversity. That's kind of what I did. I do think that mindset is a really hard thing to teach, but I don't think it can't be developed. And this business really has developed my mindset to be a lot better. I don't know what that noise is out there, but there's kids all over the place. So that might be it.
All right. We can't hear anything.
So apologize. I have a 4-year-old daughter. So I am a single mom. I did come in here and I just wanted more for her. I wanted more for me. I saw the opportunity for what it was. And I knew that I was going to have to work my butt off to make it work. And I would do anything that it took. So that does really mean getting your schedule right, eliminating distractions, anything that isn't going to make your business better or yourself as a person better. You do have to eliminate those things. So I found that early on as growing a business. I've learned through talking to newer agents and everything. I look back at my experience when I first started, and I don't know if I necessarily knew what it was going to take to be successful here when I first started, but I knew I was going to do whatever it took. And I knew I had that work ethic. So I just started to eliminate things that were not leading to my success. And that's really what jump started my business. And then also knowing that I had to perfect my craft, knowing that I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to sell anything. I had never sold anything in my life before this. So I just needed to learn the system. And I would watch videos of, Jamie, of Paul McLean, of people that were doing this. And I would pick up little word tracks to say in the home or on the phones. And that really helped me because, it really just came down to how hard I worked is how this was going to either work for me or not. So what we're going to talk about today a lot is going to come down to just when you're a new agent, how important it is to stay consistent. And if you are having a good day, don't ride the good days, don't ride the low days. You have to stay as consistent as possible and not let things get to you. But yeah, Jamie, thank you for having us. I mean, I would say consistency is one of the biggest things and something that new agents really struggle with because it can be scary at the beginning of this business. We all go through it. We have to learn how to develop ourselves into an entrepreneur if you didn't come from that before.
Absolutely. And I mean, I think consistency, to be consistent, you have to have a reason why. You have to have a reason why you're going to stay consistent, because if it's just for money, well, you might make more money in a week than you've ever made in a month. And if it's just for money, your why has been fulfilled. And now I'm going to take the next 3 weeks off. So when it comes to consistency, when it comes to your why, I mean, you obviously think of, your daughter, Carmela, correct? And at that point, it's like before this, you had a full-time job And, now this is a full-time business. It's a career, it's a lifestyle. You probably work more hours now than you worked in your full-time job. I mean, I guess talk about the difference in, freedom, the ability to spend time with your daughter, to be able to have the lifestyle that you want, when you go all in on a career like this versus, full-time in a job like you previously had.
Yeah, if I just kind of look back to what my life was before Family First Life, I was working 12-hour shifts in a hospital. I was miserable. I didn't get to see her very often. I was constantly fighting that, like, not being able to sleep because I was working at night and I wasn't making any money. So there was like, it was literally like I was paying somebody to watch my kid because I had to work to live. And it was just this like rat race that I just couldn't stand. And I was there, and in that mentality, I saw something like this and I was like, I have no idea what this is. It could be a total scam, no clue what I'm getting myself into, but I'm going to trust that this came to me for a reason, and I'm going to figure it out. I watched videos, I researched it, I saw other people doing it. I was like, all right, these people are just going to work every single day and they're building something incredible for themselves. So looking back to that versus now, it's like this business has changed me in so many ways. It's made me a better individual. It's made me a better leader. It's made me a better parent, all of those things. And you do have, at one point in this business, you do have time freedom because you do make your own schedule. So if I don't want to miss something that is really important for my daughter, I don't have to do that anymore. And as a single parent before, I had to do that because if I didn't work, I wouldn't get paid. If I didn't work and didn't get paid, my rent wasn't paid. Now her roof over her head is not happening anymore. So I'd have to miss so much. And now I don't necessarily have to do that. I work my schedule around her. I do split her half the time. So when I don't have my daughter, it's all about work. I am growing a business. I'm helping my agents. I am selling, leading from the front. When I do have her, what I found is really useful, if you are a parent or struggling with any kind of schedule, you really can't half in, half out, either one of them. I want to say half-ass. I don't know if you can say that on here, but you can't really do that on either one of them, because if you are, you're not giving your all that either parenting or work. So I was trying to do that for a while. When I switched over to virtual, I was trying to kind of like have her here and be on the phone and also with her. And it just became really hard because I felt like every day I was like not really accomplishing the things that I needed to. So what I did is instead, I decided I was going to find strict hours that were about work and strict hours that were about her. So parenting and work, they're different hours now. It's like every night at bedtime, like I need to be with her. Like during that time, like that is Carmela's time. We're going to read a story. If I'm on an appointment, 30 minutes later, we're going to, do a puzzle, or we're going to spend some time together. But she understands that concept. And when I was trying to do both at one time, it got really stressful and overwhelming for me because I felt like I was kind of all over the place and not accomplishing being there for her or being there for the client or agent or whatever I was doing for my business. So I would highly encourage you guys to try and get a schedule that works for you, whatever lifestyle that is for you. Find something that works, because once you get into that week in, week out, you're going to be able to get into a rhythm. And as long as you stay consistent, this becomes really fun. And this is a lifestyle. You can't be half in here. You really have to go all in with it, because half in doesn't work.
No half-ass,
only
full ass here.
It doesn't work.
Absolutely. So I love that. I think it's so important to just be all in. If you're part-time, guys, there's nothing wrong with being part-time, but in your part-time hours, I'm full-time FFL. So if I'm going to be dialing from 7 to 9 p.m. and that's the only time I have, there's no distractions during that time. If I can only run Saturday, Sunday, I'm running all day Saturday, Sunday. So no matter what your schedule is, it's just eliminating the distractions. I think that's so powerful. So I really appreciate you sharing that, Katelynn. I think that it's so important to understand that you don't have to sacrifice everything to be successful here. But at the same time, you do have to make sacrifices for a short period of time to be able to earn the ability to choose your schedule. And I'm going to say that and, disclaim myself. And what I mean is that you have to earn the right to be able to only, let's say, work weekends, and to be able to take, Monday or Tuesday with your daughter, or to be able to not work evenings on a certain day. But here's the deal, is that you earn the right by saying, well, you know what, Katelynn went out and she helped 20 families over the weekend, let's say, on a particular week. Well, guess what? She went out and she does that almost every week. So she can say, you know what, Wednesdays are for my daughter, Thursday evenings or whatever that schedule is. But in the beginning, when you're learning, you have to condense the time frames, and you have to, get to a point where you can learn that consistency and it can become predictable. Whereas I work one week and I don't work next week. I work, these 2 days, and then I decide we're going to go to the beach this weekend, and then I'm going to get back on the phones. Versus you can create consistency in a schedule, but you have to earn it. And the way that you earn it is through repetition and running, thousands and thousands and thousands of appointments until it becomes predictable. And I think that too many people, they quit before they ever realize how good they can actually get at this business and how much freedom they can actually have, because you truly have the ability and the freedom to, we say it all the time, and it's cliche, to print money, to be your own ATM, to be able to choose how much money you want to make based on how hard you want to work. Guess what? If Katelynn, has a full week, let's say without her daughter, she goes all in on the business throughout that week. She can choose based on how many leads and how many, appointments that she wants to run, how much that she wants to make. But if she only has 3 days instead of 4 days in the field, she also can still go all in during that time. And I think a lot of people, they try to work the schedule of a top producer or a top agency manager when they're brand new. You guys have ever heard the saying, do what they do, say what they say, and you'll get what they got. That's absolutely false. Okay. You have to do what they did. You have to say what they said, and then you'll get what they got. If you try to do what I do right now on a daily basis, my schedule looks different because I help 20 families in a weekend. So Wednesdays, I take time in the morning to work on my marriage with my wife. Our son goes to grandma's house, and then I work from home that Wednesday. But when I was brand new, best believe Wednesday all day long from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., I was working. But I earned the right to be able to take that Wednesday morning for my family because I've consistently figured out how to perform on the weekends. Does that make sense, Katelynn?
I think that 100%, because I think a lot of people get confused with that at the very beginning of this business, there is nothing more important than growing this business. Nothing, because you will fall behind and you will get passed up by other people if you don't focus on it. So at the very beginning of this business, I realized what I had in front of me. And I had very little time with my daughter. I had very little time doing anything that I enjoyed because I needed to grow this business, and I wanted it so bad. I was so hungry to give up literally everything to make this work. And that is a temporary sacrifice for a long-term goal. And you have to remember that. And I consistently remember that. Like the month that I went out and protected 100 families, I did absolutely nothing else but protecting families. That's all I did. I mean, I needed to do that for myself to be able to get the financial backing to be able to grow my business. So at that point, I knew that I was at a spot where I wanted to grow a massive agency and change a lot of other people's lives, but I wasn't financially where I wanted to be. So I was going to go out and put in the time because I didn't have the money. So if you don't have the money, you have the time. So always think of it that way. If you do not have money right now, you have the time. Writing 10, 15, 20K a week is going to significantly change your situation. Because anything less than that's going to make this business very, very hard. If you're writing less than 10K a week, it's going to be hard because you need to reinvest to be able to get in front of the amount of people that you want to protect every single week. So just knowing that, and the more you do it, the easier this becomes, because I know that Jamie and I could probably go out and do these appointments in our sleep. We already know what we're going to say. We know what the client's going to say. We know what we're going to say back. We know how the whole thing's going to go. It's at that point, it just becomes fun. You're not stressed about the money. You're not stressed about the sale. And guess what? The client can totally tell that. They're like, oh, this sales pressure's off. This girl doesn't even care if she makes a sale. Okay, now I'm more interested. It's like at the beginning of this business, you're a little bit more tense because I understand we all need to make money. We all have to support our families. So I understand that concept. But if you take yourself out of it for just a second, you will realize that there is a significant difference between having an appointment and thinking about the client or thinking about your bank account and what it's going to look like tomorrow. Huge difference. So take that, how you will, but I do think that that's really important for new agents, and you do earn the right to take days off in this business. I've finally gotten to a spot where I know that I could take off some days and spend with my daughter, but it was not like that at the beginning of the business at all for me. And I know that new agents come in and they think that it can be like that, but it can't at the beginning. It just can't. You have to sacrifice and figure out what your priorities are, make those non-negotiables so that you can hit those goals. And then you will earn that time. And once you get to that spot, you'll be so glad you didn't give up.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, like, would you guys be willing to, like, what's your comfort? Like, is it you go golf on Sunday? Is it you watch Netflix, from 7 to 11 p.m.? You're like, what is your comfort? Like, would you be willing to turn it off for a year? Would you be willing to put the golf clubs away and lock them up in the garage for a year? Like, would you be willing to turn the Xbox off, unplug it from the wall, and put it away in a box so you're not tempted for a year? Not forever, but would you be willing to do that? For me, I absolutely love spending time with my families. Sundays, I take off. I don't do any work. That's been a non-negotiable from day one for me. But at the end of the day, I've had to make some sacrifices on, sorry, like we're not going to go hiking this Saturday, because Saturday is my biggest day in the field. But then guess what? Grady talks about setting goals for relief. Andrew Taylor talked about it at our, big managers conference that we had in Phoenix, last month, where he said, he calls it the 90-day madman cycle, where he says, I'm going to run hard for 90 days. I'm not going to look up. I'm not going to look left. I'm not going to look right. And then at the end of 90 days, we're going to schedule something fun. And some people, when they hear they schedule something fun, especially when we make the kind of money you can make in this business, oh, we're going to go to Hawaii for 10 days. Okay. You go to Hawaii for 10 days in the beginning of your business, you're going to come back and it's not going to be good. Trust me. We call it the Disneyland effect, the Hawaii effect, whatever it is. You come back, you're rusty. You come back and you had a chargeback or 2 or 3 hit, and you spend a bunch of money in Hawaii, and now you don't have any money for leads, and now you're panicking, and now you're in the doom loop. And nobody's buying from you because all they can smell is your commission breath. And if you're doing telesales, it's so strong they can even smell it through the phone across the country. That's how desperate you sound. And it's not good. But you work 90 days and you set yourself up for a long weekend. You set yourself up for 3 days to go and spend uninterrupted time with your family. And now your family also gets on board for something, because now there's a goal in the future. There's something that they're looking forward to. So now they're going to support you. Hey, how many families did you help today? Hey, how many families did you help this week? Hey, how many appointments did you set? And they're encouraging you to work. So that's the best, and you have to have those conversations with your family, and you have to miss some things in the beginning to be able to have the right to never miss anything again, to never miss the most important things. And I think that's really the most, powerful thing about this business, is that you can have absolute freedom, but you have to earn it. And most people, they come into this business, they're their boss for the first time. And I'm a horrible boss to myself. I am. So for me, I had to develop the disciplines by running thousands of appointments and booking, thousands and thousands of calls and getting told no thousands and thousands of times, to book the discipline in myself to be able to earn the right to be able to, have a little bit of flex in my schedule. But in the beginning, I'm not a very good boss to myself. So, if I say, I work from home and I'm scrolling on my phone, I'm doing all kinds of things, anything other than work. I hear a baby crying downstairs. I'm a good dad. I'm gonna go change the diaper. Now I'm doing the dishes and I'm making my wife lunch. And, now, the whole dial day just went away. So you have to set parameters. You have to set non-negotiables. I'm going to be sitting in this chair for basically the next hour, other than going to the bathroom or going to grab some food to bring it back up to this chair to keep dialing. And you have to be able to be willing to do that. And I know some people, they see this business and they hear all of us say, best business ever, best business ever, best business ever. But then you look at some of these other businesses out there and they go, well, that business over there, it looks a lot, sexier, because, they're hanging out by the pool all day long. And, they're, whatever it is that they're doing, there's all those businesses out there, the Instagram influencers and, the MLM culture, etc. Guys, I hate to tell you, but this business isn't sexy. Like, from the outside looking in, we work our butts off. But the deal is, in 3, 4, 5 years, like, we're never going to have to choose, we're going to be able to choose whatever we want. We have the luxury of choice if you're willing to learn this skill set. This is one of the most powerful skill sets that you can ever learn, not just selling insurance, but selling, period. God forbid something happened to Family First Life, or God forbid something happened to the insurance industry in general, these skills and these disciplines can be taken anywhere. But thank goodness the insurance industry has thrived for 100+ years. You know, all the insurance carriers, Mutual of Omaha specifically, they survived the Spanish flu, they survived the pandemic, they survived World War II, you know, they survived everything. You know, Mutual of Omaha in America basically doubled during the pandemic, you know, so they're not going anywhere. Every single one of these companies has reinsurance, meaning all of their assets are reinsured by another insurance company. So even if your insurance company failed, God forbid, they get swallowed up by a bigger insurance company, your clients still get paid. The insurance industry is not going anywhere. So if you know that you have one of the best industries in the entire world that you're a part of, now you also know that you're a part of the best company in the best industry on the planet. All you have to do is just learn the skill set, and you can develop freedom. That's all that we want to really share with you guys tonight, is that's what's possible. But this can be the best paying sales career in the world, or it can be the worst paying sales career in the world. And it's totally up to you on which one it's going to be. So Katelynn, what's something that you're maybe wondering, something that you want to know, that you think the agents here on this call would find some value in?
Just, I mean, exactly what you were talking about, just how this industry isn't necessarily like a sexy industry. Like even recruiting can be hard sometimes. Say you're in financial services. I mean, insurance, no, I'm in financial services. I am in a company where we're out to set change for it. You know, we're like the Netflix to Blockbuster kind of deal. You know, this is what we have here, and there isn't anything else like it. Like the compensation, all of that, you can't find it anywhere else. Insurance isn't going anywhere. We all know that. It's not like solar, pest control, all those other places that these people are just, you know, selling products that we don't even know if they're like going to be here in 10 years. Like insurance is for sure going to be here. And if you can, I mean, I've been in a lot of jobs before, and I've never been surrounded by this many people that actually want to see other people win. Like it's unbelievable. Like Jamie's awesome for even having us on this call tonight. Like I am so appreciative for us to merge today. We had a great day of dialing, like everybody was on there. It keeps the momentum and energy up. And, you know, you just can't find things like that, especially ones that pay you more than what for what you do, you know.
That's good. So talk to us a little bit about your lead flow and the lead flow of agents that you have working with you, and just what's a conversation that you maybe have with somebody who they're just stuck in this mindset of, hey, I got a batch of leads and they all suck.
Yeah, I mean, I say that, you know, all leads are the same. So all leads can be good leads or bad leads. It just depends on how you think about them. So if you think in your head that it's a bad lead, then it's a bad lead. But if you think in your head that, hey, it's a number, a name, an address, and somebody that put in a request, I'm going to give this lady a call and see what she was looking for. You know, if you have that attitude towards it, it's completely different. So we all have days where we all feel the same way in this business. And that's what separates people from being a top producer from not, is really your attitude and your mindset towards what you're doing. So we all have the same access to leads. My lead flow looks the same every single week. I invest a lot in leads to produce at a high level. That could be anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000 a week. And if I need to have a little bit more, I don't have a problem with buying leads, because I know that that's the way that I'm going to see success for myself, and it's going to help me get in front of more people. You also have to realize that I had a new agent here today, and it was kind of it's interesting to me because I struggled on the phone all day and I didn't really make any sales. I got one, but I got hung up on. I was getting objections, and he said, this actually just made me feel better, because I feel like now I don't feel alone, because this happens to me a lot. And I was like, you know what? This happens to everybody in this business. The reason that I am a top producer is because I don't give up, and I will do it all day long until my eyes are blue. I mean, like I just keep going, and I do it consistently. So that's what is the difference. I mean, we all end up with the same stuff. It happens to all of us. So if you're new here, if you don't have enough leads, then you need to find a way to get more leads, because that's the way that you are going to be able to become profitable in this business is if you have enough people to talk to. It also will take a lot of stress off of dial days, because instead of you trying to squeeze those leads and try and get a hold of everybody, you have enough leads that you're going to get a hold of people. Like, you take that stress off the table. The other thing would be, CRM is nearly all I use. I've been doing some live transfers lately. Those are hard for new agents because you're spending a lot of money for one call, and if it drops or if it doesn't go through, then you're kind of out of luck on that one. So when you're new, it's just as good to go. A live transfer is an instant internet lead. So it's somebody that just filled out something online. It goes right into the CRM and you give them a call. So it's the same exact thing. It's just that a live transfer is just taking out the part of you calling them first. So that's the only difference between the two. And you know that once you get on the phone with that person. So instant internet leads, just get those, start doing call to close. And then I take a look at all the mailers that are in the CRM, because I think that they are golden, especially when you can see that it's a handwritten note. You can send a text of that. They can't tell when they signed it. They just can't. Like, you filled this out. I'm obligated to get this out to you. I mean, I don't know what you want me to do. You have to be assumptive. So high lead flow, assumptive, and consistency. Those are the three things that I would tell you if you're new and maybe struggling and not where you want to be. Those three things: lead flow, consistency, attitude, and the assumptiveness of what you're doing.
And even so, you're obviously, you're a top producer. You produce 50 families plus every single month, and every single month I'm sure you have multiple bad dial days. Would that be? So, I mean, a lot of people think, oh, well, I see this person, they must just get on and they're done dialing by noon every single dial day. I mean, you said it. You said you had a new producer there today who watched you struggle on the phones. Well, guys, a lot of dial days actually look exactly like what Katelynn described right there. And then it comes in runs. Then out of nowhere, you make 4 sales in a row in a day. But it's like, most days kind of suck. But this is the most redeeming business in the entire world, where I spend $1,000 on leads, average sales $1,000. I get my butt kicked. I can't tell you how many times I've just gone 1 for 20, 0 for 20, and then out of nowhere you go 8 for 10, and it evens out. Last week, some people, they'll hear these numbers and they'll be like, oh, well, those are really good numbers, but your standards get higher over time. Last week I only helped 6 families, and I was mad about it. I was mad. I only helped 6 families. I can't believe I did that little production. I helped that little families. And I got to think about it left and right. I probably sat with 30 families and, just over and over again, no, rejection, things that I knew I could have closed. And then this over the weekend, I helped 21 families, 21 plus 6, that's 27, divide that by 2. I helped almost 15 families each week. It all balances out. Who cares? So it's like, can you bounce back? Can you, not be too high and not be too low? Can you go back to doing the same activity over and over and over again? It's kind of boring. It's also kind of exhilarating. It's just like you have some really high highs and sometimes you have some really low lows. Can you live somewhere in the middle? I think that's so important. So, whether it's, learning to manage lead flow and you have a bad dial day, or, I don't think there's any such thing as a bad batch of leads. Some people, I had a bad batch. I don't think there's such thing. I think you had a bad dial day, because if Katelynn and I just swapped stacks of leads, like I had a bad dial day and she had a bad dial day and we just swapped leads, I bet you we'd both go book a bunch of appointments off of each other's leads. It's just how it works. It happens all the time. I can't tell you how many times someone had a bad batch and then we gave those leads to somebody else and that person had a great dial day. Or I've given somebody, 3 or 6 month old leads and told them they were brand new instants. And they're like, oh, these were the best leads ever. Thank you so much. I'm like, little did you know those were 6 month old leads that I just gave you and told you they were brand new. But it was the mindset that you thought that they were brand new. So, there's bad dial days, dial day can be an absolute battle. That's the thing. Can you battle through it? And then there's chargebacks. How many times have you been up against a wall of chargebacks and had to climb your way out, Katelynn? And just like, how much stronger did you feel after you did it? Because you proved to yourself that you can do hard things.
Yeah, I mean, chargebacks are inevitable in this business. And at first they definitely scared me, just like a lot of you, but they are normal. And every single time you get into a rut where you feel like you're getting a lot of them, you work a little bit harder to get out of it. And once you do, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than you thought you were. that it's not as hard as you think. You just go out and stay consistent. And, honestly, you're not charged back any dollar that you didn't make. So, I mean, that you have to look at it that way. We all love deposits. We hate chargebacks. You can't ride that low and be like, oh, I got a chargeback. Like, yeah, it happens. You can't save all of them. You did your job. You tried your best. You just keep on going and keep on flowing through it, and you will be just fine. I mean, that's all I can say, is that you'll be just fine. Because I was a big scaredy cat with chargebacks and debt and all of that. That scared me so much. And I changed my mindset to it and started becoming unemotional towards my bank account and emotional towards my business, and about how hard I was going to work to make it work. And you'll be surprised once again. I mean, things work out when you change your mindset in that way, and just believe in yourself, believe that you can do it, because you can. Jamie and I are nothing special. I mean, we're just parents that, want something more for our life, and we'll do whatever it takes to do so. We want our families to be supported, and you all have a why. Just go back to that. Why are you doing this? Why are you here every day? What is driving you? What makes you get up in the morning and say, I'm going to do whatever it takes to make this work? You have people that you love and care about. This is a business that is going to forever give you generational wealth if you just take that temporary sacrifice right now to make it work.
So here's a question. So now let's imagine you've been in this business for about 16 months. You probably have thousands of leads in your CRM that you either never got a hold of, never closed, told you no, rejected you. Imagine we took everything from you right now. We drained your bank account, everything. We also threw like $20,000 in chargebacks on top of that. Just absolute horror story. What would you do?
Go back through my leads. I mean, you can't take away the skill. So I've learned the skill. I know how to dial. I know how to book appointments. I know how to sit with clients. So what I would do is I'd go back through my CRM and I'd find people that I can talk to provide them the information. You can't take that away from me. So I feel like that's the mindset you got to have. If all that went awry, I mean, I still have leads. I'm still going to figure out a way to do it.
And some of those leads are very old, and some of those leads, maybe even told you no before, but now you go back through and it's like, you have this skill set, and you might have some really long dial days. Like, guys, if you're running old leads, the dial days are going to be longer. That's it, period. If you're going through and trying to squeeze your leads, you might be dialing for 12 hours just to get, a couple of appointments, and that's the fact. But at the end of the day, if you're determined enough and you have this skill set that that if you get on the phone with somebody and you're assumptive, you use this skill set that we learned from dialing, and you're just assumptive, you could talk to a 9-month-old lead, a year-old lead, and you could talk to them like they filled it out last week, and they'd be like, oh yeah, okay. And then you have an appointment, and once you have an appointment, you're in. That's the deal. So now it's like, again, this is the most redeeming business in the entire world, where one sale could be $1,000, it could be $10,000, it could be $400, and you're one sale away from getting another shot. So it's like, if you learn this skill set and you're determined enough, you can get out of any hole that you ever get into. That's it, period. It could be with leads, it could be with chargebacks, it could be with whatever situation that you came into this business with ahead of time, guys. A lot of people, they look at me and they see, hey, Jamie, he had Hall of Fame twice, blah, blah, blah. He seems like he's living a good life. I am living a good life. But guys, I came into FFL with over $50,000 in debt to the IRS. That was just the IRS. I had personal debt to friends and family. I owed a lot of money to a lot of people because of bad financial situation and, not paying my taxes when I was 19 years old. I'm now 29. And I literally was on the hamster wheel of interest, not being able to pay back my taxes, and getting worse and worse and worse and worse. But guys, I just put my nose down and went to work, and now I'm completely debt free. I did that in 2.5 years, less than 2.5 years. I did it in probably 18 months, was able to do that. So that's what's so powerful about this business, is you can get out of any situation. And guess what? In that process of trying to take care of my family, move us, we're moving across the country in the next 7 days, because we wanted to get out of a situation that we're in into a better situation to raise our family, move us across the country, pay off debt, get to a point where build up our credit score to be able to do all of those things. Guess what? We had to be disciplined with the money that came in for the last 2.5 years. We had to be good stewards of the money. you coming in and you're making more money in a week than you've ever made. And then at that point, you're just going, you're blowing it, going out or going on a trip. Guys, I like to spend my money on things that are going to make me more money. And if I'm going to spend my money on something that's fun, best believe it's going to be a write-off. Okay. If I'm going to spend my money on something fun, it's going to be a business write-off, money that I'm going to get off my taxes at the end of the year. So you just have to learn to be a good steward of your commissions. Learn to start building up a small savings account, splitting off a little bit of everything that you do, every single deposit. I'm obsessed. Every single morning I open up my bank account. Everybody has different philosophies on how they do this. And I split off a percentage of every single dollar that comes in. I take a calculator, add up the deposits that came in. I split off a percentage into an account for taxes, and I put more than is needed just in case I ever have a bad chargeback week, a bad deposit week. I can borrow against myself to buy leads. I'll never be the person who can't buy leads. That's it, period. And guess what? You do that long enough and excess starts to develop, and more than you can even put into your business will start to stack up there, and you can start to do things in your life and for your family. And that's what's possible. But, in previous businesses, I would spend everything that came in because I said, it's going to come back. I know it's going to come back, but guess what? If you don't have a team and you're just doing insurance sales on your own, you don't sell, you don't make money. You go get hurt, you don't make money. You get sick, you don't make money. So it's, can I sell consistently and store it up for bad chargeback days, bad deposit weeks, so I can continue to buy leads? And then, I guess the transition where we can kind of end this call, Katelynn, is now am I building towards something that's going to create leverage so that if I do get sick, or if I do have a baby, or if I do move and my resident license is going to be tied up for 10 days when I move and I can't sell, but can I still get paid during those 10 days? Absolutely. Because I built something, leverage. I built an insurance agency. Katelynn, you built an insurance agency, and that's the goal. It's to learn this skill set, to create freedom for yourself, and now to be selfless and teach that to other people, teach other people how to create that freedom for themselves. So why would you say that it's worth it to build an agency? And why are you working so hard while selling at such a high level to be able to build the agency that you're building?
So selling at a high level is important to me because I want to be able to lead from the front and show people how to do this as well. And I feel like when I'm not in that consistent selling mode, then it's harder to keep people in that, how do you teach somebody something that you're not doing? So I really strongly feel that way. And when I have new agents and we go on trips or they come to me, I want them to see what my schedule looks like, what my day looks like. I hope it scares them away. I hope they're like, oh no, I can't do this because she's crazy. And it's yeah, I want it to be like that. I want it to be to the point where that this is what it takes to do well here, what I do. And I think that building an agency is so important to me as well, because I enjoy watching other people do it. And at the end of the day, money's not going to do it for me. So money's not enough. We like to see you guys win. We like to get together. This day has been amazing. What other job can you find where so many good individuals that are seeking the same goal can get on Zoom and interact with each other and share tips and tricks and things that we've done to grow a business? Why not bring people into that opportunity? Because I know that nobody else has that out there. And recruiting is a skill. It's also a skill set that you have to learn, especially if you want to recruit at a high level. It's something you have to develop yourself enough to be able to recruit somebody that is of quality to come into your business. So it's very important to me to develop myself to be able to build the right business. And then also the passive income and the things that can come with growing a massive business gives you more freedom. And that is how you earn that time with your wife or with your daughter or with your son. That's how you earn that, because we work our butts off on both ends of the business. We don't only lead from the front by selling, but we also are spending time trying to share this opportunity with the right people and knowing that will come if we just consistently work. You want to have both sides of this business. I didn't understand that concept when I first came in because I was so engulfed in learning how to just sell, because I didn't know how to do anything like this at all. But as soon as I learned how to start sharing the opportunity, I felt selfish that I hadn't done it before, because I was watching people come in and watching them succeed in a position that they had never been in that position before. I mean, they were working at a job 9 to 5, barely making ends meet, never seeing their family. And then they can come in here, as long as they put their head down, they're going to do extremely well. So building a business, super important as well, super rewarding. And at the end of the day, I mean, I think that there is no better place to be, and that everybody deserves at least a shot at it.
Totally. And one of the other things, some of y'all, you get afraid of, the expenses in this business. You get afraid of the lead purchase, staff. If you get to a point where you need staff, which you all should when you start selling at a high level and building a team, and then chargebacks. Well, guess what, guys? When you start building a team, something super powerful happens. You earn an override. Okay. Overrides. Okay. I'm just going to preface it with this. When you start building a team, you give up your right to be lazy. Okay. You have to earn that override, or everyone's going to hate you and then they're going to quit. But at the end of the day, you also earn the biggest override on your own pen. But at the end of the day, you start building a business here. And guess what? If you build a business up to a certain point, you start receiving overrides, you start receiving VP bonuses. And the way I look at it is, first, your overrides, when you build to a certain level, will start to pay for your leads. Then your business pays for the leads. You get to keep everything else. Then your business starts to pay for your leads and your chargebacks. Then everything you write, you get to keep. Then your business pays for your leads, your chargebacks, and your first staff member. Then your second staff member. Then it pays for your leads, your chargebacks, your staff, and your marketing. And now everything you write, you get to keep. So now imagine you build a business up to where Katelyn's at, 300-400 families a month, and then you go help 50 families on top of that. Her business pays for most of her business expenses. And then if she wants to go do something fun with her daughter and she sets a goal, her business is going to pay for her business and her life and her expenses. And then what she goes to write, she gets to keep. It's such a powerful concept. Whereas a lot of people, they get into this idea of, they go and they build a business, they start to earn an override, they pull their foot off the gas, but then they've still got up to the point where they have some staff, they've got some chargebacks, whatever it is, they've got some marketing to grow this thing, and then they're broke. I can't tell you how many people they build this business up to 300, 400, 500 families a month as an agency manager. And a lot of us, we put those people on a pedestal, but they're broke. And they're broke because they stop selling. The most profitable time in this business is when your business has been doing between $300 to $1 million a month. And then you go sell 40 to 50 families a month. That is the most profitable time you will ever have in this business. Obviously, if you just want to go sell and you don't ever want to build a team, it can become super predictable. It can become incredibly profitable because all you're investing in is leads. But then you run the risk of, if I stop selling, I stop getting paid. You can have the most profitable business in the world if you got enough gas in the tank to sell insurance till you're 70 years old and just save, invest. Now you have retirement. You can do that. You absolutely can. It's a grind. I knew that I didn't want to be selling insurance until I was 70 years old. I didn't want to do that. So I wanted to grind my face off for 2 to 3 years selling insurance. I will sell insurance for the next 5 to 10 years if I can, if they let me, because I love it. And I don't even know what I'm going to do when they tell me to come out of the field. It's going to be weird. But you can build something, guys, that your business will fund your life. Your business will fund your business expenses, and you get to keep everything else on top. So that's super powerful. So learning to just be consistent. This is literally the best business ever. We talk about it like that for a reason. We tell people that because it's a fact. It is 100% the best business ever. So Katelynn, if you could just give any last words of encouragement to anybody here on the call, what would you say for somebody, just to make it, to be able to be here a year from now, because this ain't easy. I got to unmute you, I bet. Okay. Yep. Okay. Here we go.
I have a friend that joined us.
Okay. Hi,
Jamie,
Carmela.
could you repeat that? What did you say?
Last piece of advice on how to be here a year from now, and not just surviving a year from now, but how they're going to be thriving a year from now.
So that would be, consistency, and then your attitude, and then setting yourself on a schedule that's going to make you successful. So those things are super, super important. There's no way that you can really make this business work for you if you don't have a good mindset, a good attitude, set yourself up for success with a schedule that's going to work for you. I mean, this is my little baby girl. She's with me almost all the time, and we figured out a way to make this work for us. So if we can do it, then I know you guys can too. So just take that with you. You know that it's going to be fine. Just stay consistent, believe in yourself, and trust the process, because it does work.
Phenomenal. Katelynn, thank you so much for joining us, guys. Be here a year from now. be here a year from now, but don't just be surviving a year from now, be thriving a year from now because you decided to go all in. You decided to figure out your lead flow. You decided to just pound the phones until you're able to figure it out, to learn this skill set, because it is that important. If you learn this skill set and you do it long enough consistently, we say it all the time, do the right things long enough consistently. If you do the right things long enough consistently, your life will change. Too many people, they come into this business, they make some money, and they fall off the face of the earth. They do it 1 month, they don't do it another month. Guys, just consistency. If you're willing to do it and be obsessed for just a little bit, not for the rest of your life, but be obsessed for a certain period of time, you'll earn the right to be able to take time off, earn the right to be able to build the business how you want to build it, earn the right to be able to build your own schedule, because you can predict how much money that you can make in a certain period of time. That's what's possible here. That's what consistency can bring. So I appreciate you guys. I hope everybody has an amazing night. Launch 2022, nationallaunchconference.com. We look forward to seeing you there. Can't wait. Talk soon, guys.